Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my review of 101 Dalmatians 2 Patch's London Adventure, which is the 2002 direct-to-DVD sequel to 101 Dalmatians, the original. That is, I haven't. I have seen the sequel to the 1996 film, but I have to rewatch and review it. I think it must have been due to that sequel that they thought. And the fact that they're doing these direct-to-DVD sequels is that, oh, okay, better make a sequel to the animated film, because the live-action film's got a sequel, and we're doing these direct-to-DVD ones, so, okay. And, yeah, I've heard that these direct-to-DVD sequels aren't that good, but I've heard that this one is one of the stronger ones, and, yes, it's a really enjoyable installment. So, yeah, Patch's London Adventure. The plot basically sees Patch, the puppy, he's feeling a bit isolated due to having so many brothers and sisters now, adopted and birth. I mean, if he was just 15, he might be okay, but 99? Anyway, so he misses the truck when they're moving to their new farm, so he decides, after watching an advert on the telly, to go down to meet Thunderbolt, the dog from the TV show that they watched. And nice decision to take the story in this direction. Have him go and meet his television hero that we briefly saw in the first film, and he goes to meet Thunderbolt and eventually teams up with him when Thunderbolt goes out to try and prove himself to be an actual hero in the real world after Little Lightning, his TV sidekick, tells him that he's going to be kicked off, he's going to be replaced off the show and killed off, which is actually a lie. He's actually trying to get Thunderbolt to go so he can take over the show as the main star. But Thunderbolt and Patch then spend a day or two hanging out with each other, recreating stuff from the show. Thunderbolt is getting Patch to tell him stuff about the episodes, and then he'll recreate the scenes in the city with actual people who are completely different situations. For example, the first one, he claims a runaway stagecoach, and he has to try and stop it from going out of control after he tells the horse that it's out of control. So he has to stop it. And at the end of the test, Patch gets involved and he joins in with the fun. However, Cruella de Vil is on probation and has a restraining order, so she's out still, and she's not allowed fur coats, but she manages to find artwork, and spotty artwork. So she gets this, becomes the muse of the artist Lars, and tries to get the arty, spotty passion. However, she soon realises it can't be restrained, and she's got to have the spotty fur coats. So after reading a newspaper where Patch's name tag is in the picture, she bails Horace and Jasper out of jail, and they go and kidnap the other puppies and take them to Lars. Patch then eventually attempts a rescue with Thunderbolt and Lightning. Lightning hides out the way, and Patch and Thunderbolt are captured. And then Lightning then reveals it was all a lie, and Thunderbolt was also lying to Patch. And yeah, and then he runs off, and Patch has to find a way out and get his brothers and sisters out of there before Cruella turns them into dogskin coats. And eventually he and also Thunderbolt turns up later as well, and they stop the villains, also including Little Lightning, and everyone is safe again. So yeah, Patch's London Adventure. It's a great film about how a young hero can go from like literally a nobody or one of so many to a standout hero after meeting his hero, but sort of being lied by him, but then finally coming into his own as a hero at the end. And it's a great character development for Patch. It works really well, and I think the actor does do a good job, as do most of the cast, especially Thunderbolt. He does a great job as well. I don't think they're as great as the first film's cast, but they do a strong performance. Everyone from the first film, Thunderbolt and Lightning, are brand new characters, and some of the puppies that were not born to Perdita, the ones that they were adopted, they get a bit more to do in this film. If if it's those ones that get the stuff to do, as opposed to the birth ones. The animation is also really colourful and has some great moments, and I really love the music. That's something else I forgot. That's something I forgot to talk about in the first one. The music for that, it was amazing, and so is this music. It's a different score, but it works really well for this film, just like the first ones worked for that film. And the songs in this one, whilst nobody bursts out singing apart from at the start, with Anita and Roger singing Dalmatian Plantation, and also Roger trying out his new Spot song. But apart from at the start, no one bursts into song. But that's okay. The first film only did that a few times, and that made sense as Roger was a musician. So, yes. But you get some good songs in this throughout this film as well, like the Try Again song by Will Young and the One of a Kind one at the end. They have some great stuff, and the music fits really well. And I think the story just really great, and it's got some really good moments. It's not a very long story, but it works really effectively. And I think it's going as it's a more faster-paced story than the first film, but it also there's less of the story in it. But it still has plenty of time for character moments and some really great stuff to do. I think the first few scenes are a little slower, setting it up, but then after that it then goes a bit faster. It doesn't go too fast like the chase scene at the end of the first film. It's just a bit more fast paced film than the first one is. And speaking of a chase scene, the car chase scene in this film is really great. It's got some great stuff. This is something the first film should have done. If they, not necessarily as long as this, but it should have been a little bit longer. This one, it works really well, and it also ties in with an episode of the show that Patch was watching earlier, when he gets Cruella de Vil to fall down into one of the cars. That's really good. But the car chase, or bus chase as well, car van chase is really entertaining and has some great stuff to do. And yeah, looks really good, and it's all really fun. So overall, 101 Dalmatians 2 Patch's London Adventure, it's another really fun, really entertaining film. It's not as good as the first one, obviously. I think the first one has a very strong, solid story, and it's an all-time classic, but damn, is the second one really good. It's most likely the best, or at least I have not seen many of the direct-to-video sequels, but it's certainly my favourite of the few I've seen, and I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out to be the best or one of the strongest. And it's just really brilliant and really entertaining, and just joy to watch. So on the whole, I'm going to give 101 Dalmatians 2 Patch's London Adventure a 10 out of 10. Yeah, I was going to give it a 9, but you know what? I didn't really have that many problems with it. I think I had slightly more issues with the first film than I did with the second film. But I think the second film just isn't quite as good as the first one, but I still bloody love it, and I find it really enjoyable. So, yeah, you've got an all-time classic and a extremely worthy sequel. Even if I prefer the story of the first one, the sequel is still extremely worthy. And boy, it's a much better 101 Dalmatians film than either of the two live-action ones. So, yeah, I'm actually predicting the sequel to the live-action film to be the weakest. If not, then the remake itself. We'll see. When I rewatch the second live-action film, I'll do a full-length ranking of the 4 films. But expect these two to be the top 2. Yeah, but I can predict it to be remake, sequel, remake, animated sequel, original. That's my prediction, but the bottom 2 could swap. Depends on what I think. Certainly these 2 animated ones are the best. There's also going to be a Cruella prequel / another remake with Emma Stone as Cruella de Vil. Whether this will remake part of the story or if it's just going to lead into the story at the end is to be seen. We'll see if that one even goes ahead. We'll see how about that. So anyway, that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne Retro YouTube channel. Feel a bit isolated because he's, well, not isolated, just slightly ignored because he's one of 99 puppies. So he feels a bit ignored, overlooked, a bit lonely even, because he's in such a big family. He's kind of feeling a bit on his own. I don't know. He's just so he's fine. There's, I think the first hour is the first half. I think the first little couple scene.